Where should I'll be coming in. You'll be introducing me because I won't be able to watch the other contestants, right?
If the international, you will.
Oh, okay.
Like the international, you'll be able to still to watch everybody.
All right.
You get number 5 or something, you gotta watch 4 of them before you do yours.
Yeah.
So I hope you get number 1.
I might want to see my competition.
Why are you wearing your earbuds?
Pardon?
Why are you wearing your earbuds?
It is recording my voice.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the area G34 Toastmasters International Speech Contest. We have these every year. We had it last year. I was a participant in the speech contest. And here we are this year. We have JD and Leza, who is the lone participant in our international speech contest. We're excited to hear his speech. Share. And JD served for 10 years as principal investigator at the U.S. Census and in the U.S. Census Bureau Federal Data Collection Agent, ranking as a mouthful. Regional survey manager and supervisory survey statistician, improving the accuracy and reliability of key international statistical products and formulas produced by ongoing economic and demographic studies funded by Congress for the Bureau of Justice at the Department of Justice National Health Center for Health Statistics to Health Center for Disease Control and Prevention and others. JD currently serves as the admin and events support with Reach Ministries, festival chair and emeritus nonprofit business development consultant with the People's Literary Festival support group and education programs facilitator with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, and as president of Sparkling City Toastmasters, the club he represents here, where he's been a member since joining remotely during the early days of the pandemic. We all remember so fondly. Last year, Dave completed Toastmasters International Persuasive Influence Path and started the Engaging Humor Path. Tonight we'll hear a 5 to 7 minute speech, exhaustively titled "Letting My Childhood Head and Brain Injuries and Post-Traumatic Shock Recoveries Be Funny." Let's welcome JD.
Saddle up, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Wow. Saddle up, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow guests, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. My name is JD, not John. Only 2 people have ever dared or insisted on calling me John, and neither is here. Even my mom, when she was angry, started my full legal name with JD. It was JD John David Leza. I'm not good at imitating my mama, and I'm certainly not going to list all the names she called me. You'll think of a few yourselves as I share my humorous tale of childhood head and brain injuries and post-traumatic shock recoveries, TBI, and PTS. I grew up your typical sugar-saturated and hyper-energetic 1970s child, smothered and overprotected one day, outside playing unsupervised all day and all night the next, it seemed. Schwinn banana seat bicycle with chopper handlebars, I had one of those. Roller skates and skateboarding. Grew into roller blades, then water skiing and snowboarding. I have 3 sisters, 1 a year and a half older than me, 1 a year and a half younger than me, and both of those were a good bit taller than me growing up, so they ended up with bigger, stronger, faster bicycles with handlebar brakes and finger-controlled gear shifters and red, white, and blue plastic streamers off the handlebars flying in the wind behind them like the hairs on the wild horses that their friends loved imagining and telling me all about while I played with my Matchbox cars and little green army soldiers in the rockery and flower beds surrounding our yard. Their bikes were a good bit cleaner and less banged up than mine too. So whenever we had friends over to ride and race and build elaborate wooden ramps to jump up and over things, my sister's bikes were the big deal. One day we did have a bunch of friends over. There were 6, 8, maybe 35 or 100 of us. Seriously though, 8 or a dozen kids descending on one house for a few hours was normal in our neighborhood. In fact, it was expected in the summers that the older kids would take turns congregating us at different houses on different days. Eventually, that house's children would be called inside to clean and calm down while the rest of our rambunctious crew got sent off to play at one of the many schools and parks in our quickly expanding territory. We could fit 2 or 3 riders racing side by side from the backyard to the front, pushing and kicking and hooting and hollering the whole way. It was a 25-yard sprint from the cherry tree at the back fence along the side of the house out past the front where 2 sets of concrete stairs climbed up to the front porch and down to the sidewalk below and street beyond. Sometimes we'd make it a 40-yard race from the apricot tree across the backyard, past the cherry tree, around the corner of the house, and then down the side straightaway sprint. I watched our soft, green Seattle grass give way gently as the older riders in the first few races slammed on their brakes and skidded to smooth stops, or a giant pile of laughing kids in steel lying in the middle of our front yard well before the imaginary finish lines disappeared ahead of those lower steps. When it was my turn that day, I missed the brakes. I had one of the biggest bikes and forgot it had handlebar brakes. When I went to lock the back wheel into a glamorous skid and sporty stop, my feet flew off the pedals like Fred Flintstone, clawing grass and dirt and frantic spinning futility until time stopped and my memories disappear like our imaginary finish lines as the bike and I tumbled up over and down those 8 concrete stairs onto the sidewalk below and street beyond. We didn't have very many bike races in our yards after that. We all became childhood head and brain injury and post-traumatic shock survivors, first responders, informed friends, and family caregivers that day. And we very quickly started elaborating and exaggerating and laughing about our accidents and injuries. Engaging humor can be a very effective way of bringing up and talking about some of the permanent or long-term, often unseen or forgotten impacts that surviving childhood TBI or PTS can have on families and friends over decades of love, loss, and laughter. I survived a series of childhood head and brain injuries and a series of sports-related concussions. And I very well may have permanent scars, physical scars on the inside or surface of my brain or both. It helps me explain a lot of my quirks and character defects, at least. And sometimes we still cry until we laugh hysterically again about each and every accident, injury, and trauma anytime any one of us wants or needs to remember how much we've overcome and are still living with, but also and especially the loving joy and encouraging, engaging humor we share with others and ourselves. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks be to God and life on this planet. was a little spastic.